Every summer since 2013, there has been a happy happening here in Valley City, North Dakota.
So yeah, we were 24, 25 years old for the first one with no thoughts of it turning into this at that point. But yeah, you know how it goes. It just, we got it started and it snowballed.
A low-key bash that creates an almost surreal sense of well-being.
People a lot of times don't realize just what kind of event it is until they actually witness it for the first time, and then they're like, okay, you guys actually do this right.
It's a buzz brought about by an atmosphere of awesomeness.
I would be lying if I said this is what we imagined, because that's not necessarily true, but definitely the feel, the inspiration behind it has always remained the same. You know, people coming out, pretending they're kids again, getting a chance to throw a plastic ball around, bat it around a little bit, and get a little of that competitive spirit going, and just have a couple beers and, you know, have fun with your friends.
It is dubbed as the Wiffle Ball World Series, which has a nice ring to it. But the teams are made up of friends and friends of three buddies, Chad Bergen, Trevor Christensen, and Pat Bresnahan, all who grew up right here.
I can't even tell you how many games of wiffle ball, one-on-one wiffle ball, Chad and I played together. Then Trevor, when he got a little bit over, he would be involved and we'd be playing. And then, you know, when we got to be in high school, we didn't grow out of it. We decided, hey, let's just do this a little bit more legitimately, and started hanging some, you know, lights in the trees and playing night games. And it's just been always something that we've enjoyed doing. And now we're old and we actually have a little bit of financial backing. We can turn it into something that's a little bit more legitimate.
Everything, it seems, though, is a childhood blast from the past, a tribute to the younger years of the participants, even the name of the field.
Robert is Chad's middle name and Shane is Tyler's middle name, and so it had a nice ring to it, and so they called it Shane Roberts Field growing up, and now it just kind of obviously we just kind of took that name and continued to run with it.
They had 8 teams in the World Series in the first year. That grew to 18 in a few years since, and there were 17 this year.
20 would probably be our max. I mean, the fact that we have this secondary field now really makes it a little bit easier because we just have so many games to get through. And so 20 would probably be about our sweet spot to be able to still keep it here in Bob's backyard.
Bob is Chad's dad.
That's me. Yeah, we work hard at it and try to keep it nice.
Bob stays in the background for the most part, but he is the real star of the show, the architect of this oasis.
This was the last lot in our development, so everybody dumped all their trees and rocks, and so we started with nothing. All these trees were twigs, and we kind of laid the field out so when the kids were little that they had a place to play wiffle ball. Who would have thought after 35 years they're coming back to play? And so we always had that open, and over the years it's just developed into matured to this where it is today.
I mean, the fact that he lets us do this, I mean, I always kind of say at the beginning of the tournament, he's all excited and he's ready to go with everything. Usually towards the tail end of it, he's ready for it to be done and start kind of cleaning up. But we always make the claim, you know, he spends 365 days a year making this field immaculate just for us to come in here one day and just beat the crap out of it. So it's what he does for us out here, just, I mean, with everything, the whole Bergen family, they do so much for this tournament, and we really appreciate the ability that we can continue to do this in his backyard.
The vibe is mostly mellow on this late July afternoon, and the competition overwhelmingly friendly. But underlying all the general geniality, there is still a will to win, especially now that the field has expanded.
I've had a competitive problem for a lot of my life, a little bit over-competitive, but I'm getting a little bit older now, so some of that's slipping away, but it's still really intense. And now we're getting some of these younger kids coming in, and that intensity is 100% there. And you know, us older guys, we're trying to put them in their place a little bit, let them know that they're not going to just come in and teach us how to play this game.
It started out as a very tight-knit group of guys and we all knew each other, but at this point now it's gotten to the point where, you know, friends of friends, you know, some buddies heard about it and then, you know, they found it into the tournament. It's still kind of everybody has a tangent to the founders in some way, but there's still, it's got to the point now where, yeah, I don't recognize everybody out here, which is really cool to see.
Next summer marks year 10 of this righteous reunion, and Christensen says they will keep it to a one-day event because 2 might actually be too much fun. But there will be something new to keep all these kids at heart coming back home.
After each tournament gets done with, we always kind of come back together and say, okay, now what can we do for next year and add it? We just kind of piece it together each year and kind of just add another layer to it every year.
Well, a few years ago, the guys decided to add to their fund by giving back to various local charities. This year, they chose the Cheyenne Valley Community Fund, which helps benefit businesses in the Valley City area that have been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. It's a wonderful cause and one of those rare instances where both good times and good people can come together.
Thanks for joining us. Here's a look at some of the stories coming up later this season on Midco Sports Magazine.
This has been Midco Sports Magazine, presented by Build Your Base with Beef Sports Nutrition and Training Program.